Let's explore how we can use SAP Databricks to build a GenAI system on SAP Enterprise application data as demonstrated via Chatbot. To give some background, we built this FinBot to answer corporate finance simulation and what-if scenarios using enterprise finance data. Specifically, we're analyzing SAP S4 HANA finance data, including accounts payable, accounts receivable, cash flow, cash balance, and more. If you're interested in analyzing these valuable data sets, they are data products that are part of the Working Capital Insights app made available by SAP Business Data Cloud to Databricks via zero-copy delta sharing. So let's ask our first question. Given economic contraction in the GDP, as well as high inflation over the next 6 months, simulate the impact on our cash flow by business unit and also generate some mitigation strategies. We see here that the AI has finished reasoning using the available data. And we see here the impacts on the different business units, on the cash flow, and also the driving factors. And we also see the risks from the cost side as well as the revenue side, and both sides being squeezed. That leads to working capital pressure. And so we see that with the AI came up with the mitigation strategies with the first bullet, and the third one to address on the cost side, and then with the second one with the accounts receivable collection to address on the revenue side. Right? And so how the AI went about this, we see down the right in the intelligence panel, where we see the first step with a Monte Carlo simulation by first obtaining the economic data and then combining that with the finance data to perform the Monte Carlo simulation, and then using AI to generate recommendations based on the simulation output to address the identified risk factors. And then with this output, we can also use some thumbs up, thumbs down, and provide feedback so that the LLM can be further refined through fine tuning. Okay. Next, before we take any action, let's dig deeper to identify the root cause of the cash shortfall. So we're asking the AI to break down the projected liquidity gaps by month and also by business unit. And we see here is that there's the analysis by month and by business unit, and also by business unit, the gap as well as the driving factors, similar to what we saw in the previous question. And here, the AI is showing, the intelligence panel is showing the steps of disaggregating the Monte Carlo simulation results and then using AI to summarize the key contributing factors. So in the third question, let's simulate the first strategy offered by the AI in the first question. So what would be the cash flow impact if we applied a across the board OpEx reduction across all business units? So there we see is that we see the output here of the changes based on that what-if scenario of reducing OpEx spend. And we see this improvement in liquidity position, which is good news. But how did the AI get to that? And what we see here on the right is that in this case, FinBot is leveraging SAC planning to allocate the cost reduction. And how this is achieved is via SAP Databricks delta sharing its data sets via zero-copy delta sharing to SAP DataSphere, which in turn is accessed by SAC Planning via a live connection, which is the seamless planning capability that was introduced in the Q4 of last year. And then in the second step, SAP Databricks is analyzing and summarizing the outputs of the SAC Planning generated plan. And that's how we got to arrived at the output and revise the liquidity position.